Hello and welcome back to WesterosCraft Walks. I'm your host, Chris the Gardener, and today we will be taking a look at a Septry on the lands of House Stackspear. You can see the castle and the village we explored in the last episode behind me, and to my right we have the entrance to the Sept. So why don't we go ahead and explore the Sept for a moment. So we're passing through this pathway with trees on either side. And we're surrounded by pastures, like over here, like this is for grazing cows, sheep. I really like the design of this, and it looks so much better than just having a bunch of fences surrounding your pens. And we also have these small barns, or kind of like these shelters for the animals over here, and a water trough with some feed over there. And since we're here, why don't we take a look at this windmill? It's been a while since I've seen a windmill up close. I think the last time I did was at Duskendale. So, really nice on the outside. We got the blocks and the walls kind of creating a smoother looking slope. Of course, it's up to your imagination to kind of see that sloping base. And I really like the detail of the blades here for the windmill, while we have the vertical wood doors or walls or whatever they're called, or whatever we call them, as the frame, and then we have the wattle as kind of like the things that catch the wind. They're just kind of like sails, but not sails. I really don't know what the word is. So if we take a look on the inside here, let's go up and take a look at the place where the flour is, the grain is grinded into flour. So this is where it would happen. The wind rotates this mechanism over here, and then it grinds the grain into flour, and then the grain can be carried up by this crane over here. And then once it's ground into flour, it's dropped down here into this tub where it's put in sacks and it's sent wherever it needs to go. Really nice windmill. There's another one over here. And of course, all of this is surrounded by crops and pastures. So let's go back onto the path leading up to the Septry. Let's just walk through all of these. Let's walk through the pastures, and we're back on the path leading up to the Septry. You can see it straight ahead. I think the Septry, it's one of those buildings where it used to be a vineyard, but then it was converted into a Septry, and then they still kept the winemaking element of this old winery. So here we are at the main courtyard of the Septry. Here is the like a storage for space to store wagons, and some straw for the mules that the Faith would have, and they would keep them here in the stables. We have a small I don't know if this is a well or this is just like a tub of water outside. But we have that, and we have a cart here that is being loaded with supplies to be sent somewhere. And I think it's loading up some apples. We have some apples being harvested from the trees over here. Before we go into the main Septry, I want to see what's on the outside. So here we have kind of like a laundry area, which is right next to the firewood storage, and something really funny that I never really noticed until recently, but an apprentice actually pointed out that we always seem to keep the place where they chop firewood next to the place where they do laundry. And at first I was thinking, we do have a lot of that, but I didn't realize until recently, like, how widespread this is, that we have like firewood right next to laundry. So really interesting bit about the server. So here we are at the garden. We have a small well that draws up water, and we have a barrel here, possibly to catch rainwater, or it could just be carried up from the well. But here we have crops to help sustain the Septry. Some gardens, parsley. Over here we have some onions. I don't know what. Some herbs, some peas, and more herbs over there. And of course, over here we have the flowers of the Septry, and more crops here, turnips and carrots. And here's a small little wheelbarrow that's being used to help with the garden. Now over here, we have a small peach grove. And I'm saying peaches because like these look a lot more like peaches than oranges. So it looks like the Faith has this peach grove over here where they maintain it. And if we go up here, we have this small storage area for fruits. So we got some apples, some peaches, and just like another storeroom, which leads us back to the garden. So let's take a look at or actually before we do that, I noticed a small detail, but some of the details that I really like when it comes to builds are kind of like the weathering and the gradients. And recently I managed to figure out how to do gradients. Maybe not... I'll probably redo the one in that King's Landing house, but I really would like to do like a tower at some point to kind of just like demonstrate how it works. Or maybe a guide, because we really need a gradient guide, but I'm getting a bit sidetracked. So here we have like a part of the wall which is crumbling, and kind of just like to patch it up. It looks like the Faith have just like put up like some kind of like wicker wattle barrier to kind of keep it from crumbling. I think they're going to fix it at some point, but it's a really nice detail that just makes the build look... It just makes the build look a lot better. Like a lot more detailed. So let's go into the main entrance of the Septry. Here we have a courtyard, a small bench over here, a small well, and over to our left we have the winery part of the Septry. So here are the vats where the wine would ferment. We got some storage over here. We got, I think this is an area for pressing crushing grapes so they can get the juice. Over here, it looks like we have an area for making barrels, as you can see here, and here is the ramp that leads to the cellar where they would let the barrels roll and to get them into the cellar. So let's go up first. Over on the second floor, we have more storage, and it looks like we have another crane here to lift supplies up to the second level. And over here, we have access to the vats as well as these large barrels. And up one floor above, we have the bell tower with the bell at the for the Septry. Now, if we go down, we have the wine cellar. You can see all of the barrels here, and a few pots, but mostly barrels. This is where the wine would be stored and left to age, so it develops its taste. And this is the barrel ramp that we saw earlier. Barrels roll down, they get stopped by the straw here, and then they get moved into the cellar. Let's go up the ramp. I think I accidentally broke something. Yes, I broke something. Did not mean to do that. Let's quickly fix that. And out here we have the vineyard itself, where all the grapes for winemaking are made. You can kind of see in the distance a lot of the fields, crops, and then some more pastures for grazing. It's a really, really scenic view from here. And we also have like this, it's not a press, I want to say it's like a sieve that kind of just separates the grape skins from the juices. So the juice would the juices would fall into the barrel while the skins stay, and then they clean it up and use it for maybe like pig feed or something. Over here we have the Dovecote. So the doves, not only are they really good for a source of food, but they can also carry messages a short distance. Not like ravens, where they can go from the citadel to the wall, but maybe like a distance between, say, the Septry to Stackspear. Again, we have a nice view of the surrounding areas, and a nice view of the building as well. Really nice. I think this, like, I'm still kind of learning, like, more castle terminology, but it does have this Romanesque feeling, as to, like, the aesthetic of it. Now over here, we have the hospital of the Septry. So here we got beds for patients, the sick, to sleep on and to be treated, and then they nurse them back to health here. You can see the cabinet of medicines over here, as well as some lavender. And we have more supplies out here. Now, if we go upstairs, if we go here, it looks like we have someone making cloth or something. We can go here first, but it looks like we have one of the dormitories of the Septry here. And then over here, it looks like we have the Sept library, where the people here would be reading up on faith doctrine. I think now would be a good time to point out the rafters. A lot of the times I keep forgetting to look up to appreciate like the ceilings, but I really like the use of the walls here, acting as beams. It just gives it a really interesting like feel to it. Like it doesn't feel, well, I mean, it's flat, but it doesn't. It makes it feel like this roof is actually supported by a thick wood beam over here. Now this room over here, down from the staircase, is the main hall where they would discuss faith doctrine. They would have their meals here, and of course, at the end, it can't be a Septry without a Sept. So we have a shrine with the icons of the seven, which are painted. And back here, we have the kitchen, which has a doorway back out to the garden. So here we have a bread oven, we got some sausages being smoked, and we have the entrance to the kitchen here. But this doorway leads us to the pantry, where we have some cheese, grains, vegetables, fruits. We got a little bit of sour leaf over here, garlic, and we've got some hare and ham. We really need something other than ham on the server, because a lot of Westerosi are eating ham at the moment. So that's pretty much the entire Septry. I'm just going to end the video right outside with a nice view of the surrounding lands. You can see it's really vast, and I really want to incorporate something like this onto where I really want to like have my survival world look something like this, because it's just beautiful. It's really beautiful with the blocks that we have in Minecraft. There are a lot of ways to go about it, and I really want to build something like that. But yes, thank you so much for watching. Join me next week as we explore Banefort and 2 of the villages. We have some special guests on that episode that I think you all will enjoy as we explore Banefort and the villages. Once again, I am Chris the Gardener, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.